Welcome to Punch Up. This is a review of the Motorola Razr 2025, the latest entry-level version in the Razr series. The Razr 2025 looks a lot like last year's model, but there are some important updates you should know about. First is an updated processor, the MediaTek 7400X, which is about 15% faster on AI productivity, and this new titanium hinge, which is said to be 4 times stronger than the last hinge. Also, this is a new Gibraltar blue color, which I think is really nice to look at, and it has these grained indentations on the back. So it has this nice feel to it. It's not really silicone, it's not rubber, but it has this sort of nice textured plastic feel on the back. And you still have the same 3.6-inch external cover display, along with a 6.9-inch POLED 120 hertz display. Now, these are the exact same from last year's model, but last year's model had great displays, so you aren't missing out on anything there. And the processor, the 7400X, works really well with this phone. It blazes across websites and different productivity aspects of the phone. As you can see, scrolling is not an issue, even with graphics intensive websites. So you aren't likely to see much stuttering or hangups going from app to app or scrolling through websites or streaming. It's all really fast and snappy, even though it's not a flagship processor. So the Geekbench scores, they aren't going to stack up to other phones in this price range, but you are paying more for the folding functionality of this phone. And on the exterior display, you have this great 3.6-inch AMOLED 90 hertz display. So you can put any app that you want installed on the cover screen as well. You just click that upper icon and select which apps you want on the cover screen. And for the most part, they do work pretty well. It's a smaller display, but it does its best to adhere to the constraints of the display. And you have these different panels here, weather, communications. You can make calls from the exterior display. And there's a finance panel, and you can customize all these in the settings division. So, yep, super easy to access all your apps that you have installed, including Maps. So it's great when you just take the phone out of your pocket, open up Maps to see where you are, get directions, and it's just quick, easy access to everything you have installed on the phone without having to flip it open. So you can watch YouTube, you can watch Netflix, anything that you want to do on the phone, you can do on the outer display. Another great thing about the Razr 2025 is its continuity between the external display and the internal display. So if you're watching something on Netflix and you pause it, you just open up the phone and say you want to view it on the larger display. It'll continue from right where you left off. So there's just some great software tricks that the phone has, and that continues from the 2024, which also had this feature. And if you're watching something on the inner display and you want to prop it up as a kickstand, then the video controls will move to the bottom, and so it has all these built-in display features to take advantage of the folding aspect. The cameras on the Razr 2025 are unchanged from last year's model, so you have a 50 megapixel main camera with OIS, a 32 megapixel front camera, and a 13 megapixel ultra wide. So these all have pretty decent controls on the camera app. You can access the 0.5, 1 times, and 2 times in the photo division. And when you switch to video, you have the same options. There's also a macro option for the cameras. And when you fold up the phone halfway, all the camera controls will divert to the bottom. So that's nice to have just the viewing image of what you're going to shoot on the upper half, and then all the controls switch to the bottom half. So you can prop it up like this and shoot video in 16:9 or 9:16. There are limitations though. If you go to 16:9 for a landscape mode, you can only shoot video in full HD, 30 or 60 frames for some reason. But when it's fully flipped open or when it's held in camcorder mode, you can shoot video in 4K 30. Now on this external display here, you can also shoot photos and take video footage. So that's the handy aspect of having this 3.6-inch external display, is that you can access the camera and use the main lenses for selfies and vlogging. and it's all super handy with that outer display. And here are some photo samples with the main camera. It does have some post-processing that's a little bit enhanced. And then this is the 2x zoom display, and you can tell that the colors are a bit different there. And this is the macro lens. So there is detail, but you're going to get various fluctuations in colors between the lenses. New for the Razr 2025 is new built-in AI features called Moto AI. And so this is separate from Google Gemini, which is pre-installed on the phone as well. But you can use Moto AI to do different things like catch me up on notifications or record what I'm doing, and it'll take screenshots or video of what you're doing on the phone. And it's a separate suite of AI features that are built in. You do have to sign up for a Motorola account, but these are also offered with the phone. While the Razr 2025 doesn't have the latest flagship processors, the 7400X combined with 8 gigs of RAM does a pretty good job with playing games, and we tried out Metal Slug Awakening on this machine and it ran fine. It looks great on the 6.9-inch POLED display, and you can also play games on the external cover screen, but you may have some various formatting issues or speed issues depending on which game you're playing. But the screen is a little bit cramped, but overall you can play games either on the inner screen or outer screen. It's up to you. Compared to last year's Razr model, not only do you have the titanium hinge and the upgraded processor, but you also have a new 4500 milliamp battery, so that's 200 milliamps more than last year's. And as you can see here side by side, the functionality is pretty much the same between the two units. But the 2025 version is the best entry-level model for this Razr series. It's a blast to use. It's a great build quality, has enhancements from last year's model, and it's just a flip phone that does everything really well. It just won't have the top high-end flagship specs from the Razr Ultra, but it's also almost half the price of that one. So highly recommend this model. It's at $699, and if you like this video, hit subscribe. And for more news and reviews, head to news.punchdump.com.